Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight back here to Five Flag Speedway for the second half of the Thunderstruck Super Series tenure here at Five Flag Speedway for the Kinder's Vocabulary School 125 here in the Super Late Model Series. My name is Zach Wetstein. I'm here tonight with Jeff Paisley. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
Hey, I'm doing great. Looking forward to some great racing here at Five Flags. This great speedway, man. This should make some great racing.
Absolutely going to be some fun racing here tonight. 125 laps, and got to be on the lookout because these cars are going to be flying around this racetrack pretty fast in these super late models. So looking forward to it. And we got qualifying still underway. And while we do, we'll take a look at the track information. Half-mile racetrack. You see it's nighttime, so 74 degrees is the track temperature. 71 degrees is the air temp here tonight here in Pensacola, Florida. The home of the Snowball Derby, which they run annually, and it's pretty fun to watch, except the fact that you have to pay a bunch of money just to see one race, it seems like.
Yeah, the Snowball Derby is a great race, and I mean, this reminds me of my short track that we have in Stockton with the banking and whatnot. So this is a fun race for me because I always like these. I prepared a car for last night's race, but William needed my computer last night to broadcast with you, so didn't get to race it this time around. But I'll be looking forward to doing it again. And tonight's race, this is where it's at. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Qualifying is over, and we are going to go through your grid now here before we get rolling. Go. All right. Kyle Martinson here tonight gets the pole spot with the 16.310. Joshua Sexton going to get second the outside row. Jason Warren qualifies third here tonight. Well, hopefully his internet doesn't drop out again. Donald Clark going to be starting this one fourth. That is your points leader. And with Ryan Bean not running here tonight, it looks like. And that should kind of cap the season for Donald Clark to win the championship. Currently, I believe, 38 points over Joshua Sexton, who's starting in front of him. So, it's not official, I guess you could say, but I mean, he mainly has it in the books. Starting fifth tonight, Tyler Johnson with Rusty Modesty on his outside in sixth. Starting this one seventh will be Stephen Burnett with Scotty Stevens starting this one at eighth on his outside. Aaron Ward of the 99 starting in P9 with Shannon Wilder rounding out the top 10 here tonight. Harold Rothery going to start this one 11th with Casey Kuntz in the 12th position on his outside. P13 goes to Kevin Dowd with Frank Barbary on his outside in 14th. 15th position, David Lott Jr. Guy Shappert gets the 16th position here tonight. Terry Bates qualifies 17th. Gene Watkinson on his outside qualifies in the 18th position. 19th will be Kiernan Church. Michael Swink 20th. Josh Oswald 21st. Elliot Longenecker 22nd. David Hall 23rd. And to round out the field in 24th, Sam Wetstein. Those final six drivers did not lay down a qualifying lap.
Yeah, they've made it to where they're going to have a hard time. I wonder if any of them went out and just kind of got loose. And I know coming off of four, you get really loose if you're getting in the gas a little bit hard, and you can slide yourself down to where you're crossing the line, and you've killed both laps in one shot.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. It's very loose on exit from what I've seen in practice, and you got to be very careful in that turn 1 and 2 because you see right there in front of you that wall is very close, and you got to be kind of up close to that white line if you want to have a successful line around turn 1 and 2. So watch for these drivers to try to avoid that wall, and if you get loose in the middle of the turn, you might not be able to. Avoid it.
Yeah, I never really got up super close to the wall coming out because when I was trying to hold the speed, it would start spinning before I ever got there. So you got to really watch the throttle on this one.
Yeah, throttle control is the main factor here tonight at Five Flag Speedway. You can kind of use that term of having an egg under the throttle to don't want to crush the egg, which means you just don't want to crush the throttle you don't want to press on the throttle too hard and spin that car around. So we got, 22 cars here tonight on track. So a really good size field here tonight for 125 laps.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race. hopefully they're able to keep it under them while the cars are loose, because I know that on the first couple of laps they're generally extra loose, and then they start setting in and they should be good.
Yeah, cold tires can be a pain at these tracks and these cars, so got to be very careful. Like you mentioned, Donald Clark did not have a good jump, so he already falls back to the, or wait, no, he was in fourth, sorry. Joshua Sexton started this one in second, and he's still battling for that second position as we come around to complete the first lap. Doing a really nice job at holding Jason Warren down, but how long can it last?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. You can hold that high line at least for a while on the newer tires, so as long as you're not over throttling it and sliding yourself down, you probably got a few laps to find your way down.
Another thing to worry about tonight is that front stretch wall. When you come out of four, that wall can come up to you a lot quicker than you think, and it can come as a surprise, and then all of a sudden you're hitting the wall. So you got to be very careful here tonight at kind of avoiding that front stretch barrier, as it's single filed out a decent bit through the field. But right now, side by side, Joshua Sexton trying to do his best to get to the inside line and should be able to in front of Tyler Johnson here in the fourth position. So he loses 2 spots on the start of the race, starting on the outside, and we'll see how that kind of affects that person on the front row on the outside as this race goes on if we have more restarts.
Yeah, I was thinking Josh Sexton was going to need to back off a little bit and just take that spot, because it was closing up there for a moment, and then it didn't look like he was going to be able to get down. But Tyler Johnson didn't quite get up there far enough, so Josh was able to get down.
And Kyle Martinson, your pole sitter, still in the lead now with about a half a second lead over Jason Warren. We saw him come into the series a couple weeks ago and win his first race, and Donald Clark topped him as, I think we have a wreck. We do. Terry Bates in the 2 around for the first caution of the night.
First caution. Oh, already in the pits.
Yeah, he towed. We'll take a look what happened. As we're on here with the 2, and the 60 behind him just dives in too hard and hits that left rear and turns him around. That was the 60 of Kai Schappert. Not sure why. He may have been mad because it didn't look like anything that would have forced him to tow immediately.
Yeah, it sounded on the radios that the 60's taking a voluntary trip to the back.
Yeah, I mean, here he already knows what's going to happen. Get that EOL for the wreck. We have Frank Barbary down pit road right now. Terry Bates obviously a part of that wreck. Gene Watkinson down pit road right now. But he was already down there, so I'm not sure what's going on with that car. But you see Frank Barbary.
I think if there's any question on fuel, the guys in the back should probably stop and just top off and make sure that they've got enough fuel to go the rest of the way, and you never know. I mean, these races have had quite a few cautions, so they've all been able to make them on just the regular fuel load, but we'll see. Sometimes if they get some long runs, then they'll end up being a little bit short on gas.
Yeah, I was told tonight before the race that everyone should be good on fuel, so we'll see. It may be, I don't know if Frank Barbary maybe thought, hey, we ran 7 laps. If he was already back there, maybe get tires. Who knows? So I think that's probably the call he made, because from what it sounded like from who I talked to tonight, they made it sound that they were going to be pretty good on fuel.
Yeah, I think generally when you're doing the setup, you try to cut it as close as possible. Some of them put a little bit less fuel in, knowing that there's probably going to be cautions. But like I said, if they did that and then they get long green flags, they may have to come into the pits, which always is a chance. But you just never know. Most of them probably get themselves covered. I'm usually cutting it right on the edge to where if we go green the whole way, then I can make it. But sometimes I'll cut an extra gallon or 2 out of it, expecting cautions, and that's bit me a couple times myself.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This is an open setup league, so everybody can do with their setup what they please to, and some, like you said, maybe cut it short on fuel, maybe a little too short. So we'll see if Frank Barbary, what's going on with that car, if he pits. Maybe if we have another caution, we'll see if he pits again. But we're taking a quick look at your schedule before we go green here. We got 1 week left. That's South Boston Speedway for the last race for the Thunderstruck Super Series late model drivers, along with the modifieds.
Now that's going to be a handful of a race right there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Really tight quarters there. But we're still here at Five Flags. Still got a long way to go here tonight. And a lot of close racing left to go as Jason Warren, he started on that outside. We questioned with how Joshua Sexton fell back on the outside line in second, how well the next person would. And Jason Warren, he started second, and he was able to maintain that spot.
Yeah, I think the last time I was at South Boston, I ended up on top of the wall.
That's no good. Stephen Burnett, Tyler Johnson side by side out of 4, and particularly this turn is where I would not want to be side by side, because we talked about how quickly that wall can kind of surprise you, and if you're side by side, maybe you're not paying attention to that wall, paying attention to the car below
losing
you.
it in back.
Oh man.
Oh, 99 down there.
Oh, but they're good. They got it straight.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to get a caution on that.
Oh, but Kevin Dowd was completely stopped, so.
Yep, there we go.
Come back to you guys, check out what happened here.
I think that's Kieran Church up on the top, and he loses it.
Oh, I think that was Kevin Dowd in the 90 got
Kevin
loose.
Dowd? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kieran Church right behind him in the triple twos.
Oh, yeah. I knew I saw the triple twos in there somewhere.
Oh, man, Aaron Ward just nowhere to go. So, I mean, Kevin Dowd not going to get the EOL just because he is already at the back of the field. Well, they might still give it to him, I guess, Terry Bates. He's back out there, so we'll see if they give it to him just for one spot. Because Terry Bates is more than a couple laps down. We saw him in pit road. So maybe that car did need towing. I don't know. Because
Yeah,
I said it.
I wouldn't be a fan of giving him an EOL for getting loose. I mean, it's not like he was trying to do anything. But that's my personal opinion. I think the EOL should only be given when somebody does something dumb or is trying to run into somebody.
I think the rule is just if you cause a caution, unless it's more of a racing where two people meet at one spot. So I'm not sure how they'll handle that. Like I said, he was already at the back of the field because of the wreck, so I doubt they will. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about, since we have more time now, South Boston Speedway for the championship race. Like we said, Donald Clark pretty much has it all but locked up. Currently 38 points ahead of Joshua Sexton with one race left. So looking really good for Donald. He's sitting in this race in the 3rd position, trying to get another win. He currently has 6 on the season, so impressive season by him. And actually, Ryan Bean, who's in 2nd in points right now, he won't be after this race, but Ryan Bean has 7 wins with 1 race left to go in the modified series. So Donald Clark trying to match that here in this super late model series.
Yeah, I was surprised not to see him here tonight because this one is still up for grabs. So, and I mean, he's pretty much got the modified series taken care of. Every time I've been in there, he's been the man to beat.
Yeah, but all these short tracks we go to, already not a lot of room, but South Boston kind of amplifies that, really.
Yeah, that one, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, we had a little bit of a checkup. Somebody got loose, bumped him, and then everybody piled in, and I ended up on the wall when I was. So it's funny how these things just tighten up, and then all of a sudden everybody's piling into everybody on the short tracks.
Yeah, just know where to go when you're behind the wreck sometimes, and especially with that new smoke model, can't see now where you're going. So that just I use that word amplify. That smoke model really amplifies short track wrecking. I mean, not only not a lot of places to go on the track to avoid it, but then you can't see where you're going trying to avoid it.
Looks like Donald Clark got a good jump down there. Although I'm not sure he can hold it on the inside there coming out. Nope.
Jason Warren doing a really nice job restarting 2nd at holding that spot. And Joshua Sexton, he restarted 4th once again. He's trying to get down to that inside line ahead of Stephen Burnett. And, well, he should be able to come down on the back stretch, and does. So Joshua Sexton keeps himself inside that top 4. Now to the back bumper, Donald Clark.
The Donald Clark, the Donald Clark fan club's in there in the house tonight watching.
Yeah, they always show up in numbers to support Donald Clark every week. Good to see.
Definitely good to see.
One thing we haven't talked about here tonight, but you guys can obviously see, is how dark it is in these corners. And we talked about it last night. You kind of got to use those lights on the front stretch and back stretch to your advantage, because once you're into the turn, it may be a little bit difficult to see the car ahead of you. Not too difficult, because it is at least well lit enough that you can, it's not that dark. But I talked about, kind of the judging distances. It may be a little bit harder to judge the distance of the car in front of you when it's a little bit darker in the corners. So you got to use that light that you have on entry to make sure that you don't get too close to that car in front of you and accidentally bump into them.
Yeah, I had to change my lighting settings in there, because just the regular settings I had for like daytime races and stuff, that was fine, but it was really dark. It was like there was no lights. I kept hitting that inside because I couldn't see at all. I had to bump the brightness level up just so I could be able to see. It was like there was no lights on the track.
Donald Clark in that red and black 18 machine on the back bumper right now of Jason Warren, with Joshua Sexton right behind him. We're racing further back in the pack. Kieran Church up to 10th right now. He started in 19th. Another person who's made a lot of moves this race, Josh Oswald behind him in 12th. He's made up 9 spots as they're hitting the wall in front of him, and in the wall.
Big
and almost on the roof is the 71. Harold Rothery.
He's upside down. On
now he's upside down and gonna get a little bit of help, actually.
Oh, he got some help. That was awfully nice.
Kevin Dowd sacrificing the front of his car for him. We'll go back to the couple of people I was just about to talk to in a minute once we look over this. Ooh, check up. Harold Rothery is actually good, but then is not clear of, that was Casey Kuntz. And then, gives back into the wall, and then iRacing Physics take over.
Yeah, that was iRacing Physics there. Good thing he had a friend.
Yeah, Kevin Dowd was there for him. They're teammates.
Sometimes you need a little help from your friends.
And with that, Harold Rothery will stay on the lead lap. He'll get the wave around, and the only bad thing about that is he can't go into the pits and fix that damage, but he does stay on the lead lap. But go back to the people I'm talking about. Kieran Church, he's up 10 spots. He's sitting 9th right now. Josh Oswald in 10th right now. He's moved up 11. He started 21st. Sam Wetstein, a couple positions back from him, has picked up 12 spots and 12th right now.
He's
David
definitely
Hall,
the big mover.
Yeah, biggest mover so far. And then David Hall, a couple spots back from him in 14th, is up 9 positions. So a lot of big movers so far. A lot of these drivers are people who did not qualify, or at least messed up in qualifying. Either which.
Yeah, if it's my story and I wasn't on the broadcast, I just chose not to.
Yeah. Did you try to qualify and wreck, or did you just not qualify? I just didn't qualify. That's definitely the story, and I'm sticking with it.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, man. Well, one person who did qualify and taken advantage of it is Kyle Martinson. Has led every lap so far, 34 laps in. And really just hasn't had the time to try to build up too big of a gap over second place. We'll see if we do get a longer green flag run, if he's able to build, more to like a second gap over Jason Warren or not. But so far, this top 4 or so have been very close in race pace.
Yeah, got big hitters up front right now, I'll tell you. Kyle Martinson, since he's joined in here, he's been up front every single race. Jason Warren's always up front. Donald Clark's always up front. Of course, Josh Sexton also.
Yeah, Josh Sexton, a case of no wins on the season, but still very consistent, as his average finish is tied with our leader at 6th per race, or he average finish of 6th, and he's 3rd in points right now.
It's a good showing for the Five Kings boys as well. There's a bunch of them up in there in that top 10.
Green flag is back out, and Joshua Sexton has not gotten the best of jumps in fourth, but he always finds his way back to the bottom, still in that position.
Yeah, I had to give a shout out to my new teammates.
Side by side, Stephen Burdett, Tyler Johnson there. Tyler Johnson on the 20 on the outside, 46 Stephen Burdett on the inside as they're racing out of turn 4. Right behind him, Scotty Stevens, just nowhere to go for him right now.
Yeah, Tyler's going to have a hard time as the tires get used up on that higher side.
Made a little bit of contact. He got loose out of the turn. Hopefully they can keep it together. They do.
That is a way to hold the position.
Yeah, that's one way you could say. As once again, you see kind of the top 4 all together, but separating themselves from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, they're going to need a little mess up. I think they're all fine with just following each other right at the moment. But one of them slips up, then the other person's right there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, this is what I meant. Sometimes you see the leader, whoever gets the pole spot and can control the restarts, usually is able to build a nice gap. But Kyle Martinson cannot sit comfortably right now as all these drivers are together. Those top 3, I believe, are all a part of 09. And so they build their own setups, and all 3 of those cars in the top 3 have those setups. So you're seeing all 3 of them consistently fast right now, and then Joshua Sexton, he's right behind him, part of Five Kings, and he has his own setup, but it's still just as fast as those guys in front of him.
It doesn't seem fair because those 3 are always up there when they're in the race. You got to really give them props for their setups.
Yeah, setups, and then just raw speed that they have with those setups every single week that they're here. We've seen mainly Jason Warren and Donald Clark, but like we said, Kyle Martinson 2 or 3 weeks ago joined and won right away. Go back here a little bit further back in the pack. This is now 8th place. Josh Oswald has now become our biggest mover, 13 positions. And gets a little loose on exit. I talked to him before the race, and he really was not very confident in his race setup. It felt too tight. And so right now he's looking good inside the top 10. We'll see how much further he's able to move up into the field.
Tight is not what you want on this track when it comes later in the race, that's for sure. Because you're going to push up into that wall hard, and you're going to have to let out a lot. Ooh, Warren's falling back. I think he got in the wall a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he was just in second. Donald Clark now around him. Check out maybe if he has some damage. That right front does look a little scuffed up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the screen with the guys in the back, and then I happened to see it out of the corner of my eye that he was getting past. It looked like he had kind of bumped the wall.
Oh, that's not the one I meant to click on. You're on board with Kyle Martinson's car. That left rear, you see the cars behind him. Maybe he'll start to build a gap over him. But right now, I mean, still these top 4 are very consistent. But still, the top 3, even with Jason Warren moving back, still 0-9 guys. So, like you talked about, week in and week out, it almost seems a little unfair how fast they are. And not only setup I'm talking about, just pure speed and the fact that they're able to find speed where others aren't able to. And it's incredible to watch. It doesn't matter what track we go to.
Yeah, and they're just great drivers on top of it. And so when you put a great driver into a car with a great setup, I mean, we've seen it in the big boys in NASCAR when Kevin Harvick's on it and they've got the best setups for the race. Harvick is unbeatable, you know, and it seems like there's a few of them that are like that. But you can put a bad driver in with that same setup and they'll never be in the top 5. So you just got to give them props all around.
Top 3 starting to pull away now. As we'll go through here your top 10 real quick. As we're rolling along some nice green flag laps now. Kyle Martinson currently your leader. Donald Clark sitting in second in that 18. Jason Warren, your third place racer right now. The top three are, well, Donald Clark started fourth, but I was going to say your top three is where they all started, but I was wrong. Joshua Sexton sitting fourth right now with Tyler Johnson rounding out the top five. Kiernan Church just made a pass over Stephen Burnett for sixth in that 222 car. And then Stephen Burnett himself in that 46 right behind him in the Rowdy Energy, I think that is car. I could be wrong. Oh, factory, I can't tell what it says, but it looks like a Rowdy Energy car.
Yeah, it does.
Behind
I
him,
thought it was, I was thinking it was a Rowdy car, to be honest with you.
Behind him, Shannon Wilder in eighth right now. Josh Oswald sitting ninth, and then Rusty Modesty rounds out your top 10 there in that six.
Yeah, Modesty's always up there in the top 10 himself. He does really good in these as well.
Starting to click off some more green flag laps and starting to see maybe those cars that are better on the long run start to show themselves, I guess you could say. And right now we're about to get into some lap traffic for the first time tonight. That can always get a little dangerous.
Josh Oswald's holding strong in ninth right now after moving up from 21st, so he's having a good night. And Sam Wetstein is still hanging on strong in 12th.
Currently 18 cars on the lead lap right now, and you see a big group of lap cars in front of our leaders here, so that number is about to drop if a caution doesn't come out.
Now this ought to be interesting. They're starting to get on those lapped cars, which could change a lot of things real quick. We're getting close to the halfway point.
Yeah, about one lap from now we'll be there. As David Hall in the three, gonna go to the high side, allow our leader to get by, as Kevin Dowd just went a lap down as well. And we'll see if any of these cars choose to fight our leader. Maybe not, and when I say fight, I don't mean in a bad way, but these cars that are not a lap down yet but about to go have all, they have the right to fight for their spot to stay in the lead lap in case a caution comes out. So far we've seen 3 lap cars, and all 3 of them have kind of moved over for our leader. But there can always be that Ryan Newman type guy who, if he's about to go lap down, he's going to make you fight for it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I had a car that should be on the lead lap. I might even fight a little bit. I mean, I'm notorious for letting them go because they've obviously got more speed than me. That's why they're coming. But sometimes I know I got a good car. I'm just bogged down behind a bunch of cars that are, basically blocking you from getting through. And if you could just get by them, you could hold your position. So somebody might have that same feeling. Although we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you have Scotty Stevens. He's usually pretty quick, and he's about to go a lap down. We'll see if he's going to move to the outside. Yeah, I mean, that is a respect thing. Like you said, they're obviously faster than you. They've been able to, get around to you to put you a lap down. So they obviously have some speed that you don't. So there is that respect factor there. And I think that also plays a part in it. It's whether that person respects you or not as a racer. If they do, maybe they'll let you go. But if they don't, and maybe they don't like you, they'll fight you a little bit harder just to make you a little bit angrier.
Yeah, I'm generally friends with most people, so I tend to move out of the way. I think I've let you by a time or two.
Well, I appreciate it if you have. As we are now up to 13th a lap down, and this is how it looks on short tracks. When you get a lot of green flag laps chained together, you start to see a lot of the field go a lap down, and before you know it, the top 10 is the only lead lap cars now available.
Now, I do fight my son quite frequently when we're racing. So.
Well, you can't let a family member pass you. Come on.
Now, although he's pretty aggressive, so sometimes it's just easier to let him go and follow him. Because I know he's going to it. It's the front.
Kieran Church has made his way up into the top 5. He passed Tyler Johnson. He's currently a second and a half behind Joshua Sexton for 4th. So maybe I talked about we'll start to see the stronger long run cars as this run goes on, and Kieran Church is one of them. He started this race 19th. He's up to 5th, and well, he's closing in on Joshua Sexton as well. So that car is showing some speed.
Yeah, Kiernan Church is a hard guy to beat too. We've raced against him as well, and he's always up there towards the front as well. It seems like it doesn't matter what kind of car he's in.
Yeah, Kiernan, he has kind of both factors of racing pretty well down. He's a fast driver, but he also is pretty good, very good on strategy. So he has both of those kind of in his back pocket to use. If he's maybe not as fast as the track, he'll use strategy, and he'll use that to get to the front. And then sometimes he just has pure speed and he'll get up there. So that can be dangerous if you have a driver that can have both of those attributes. As we do have a car slow on the backstretch, Shannon Wilder.
Uh-oh.
He's going down pit road, so something happened to that car. I don't know if there's any damage, so maybe Shannon has to get off the simulator for a real life situation. I'm not sure. There is some right front damage to that car, it looks like. I don't know. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. Oh, no, that right front looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything there. I'd say we could see his pit crew in action if there was something wrong, but they weren't moving, so. Which they usually don't.
Yeah, I wish iRacing would change that. I wish we could. I know graphically it would consume up some memory and all that, but hey, for the people who have the computer that can handle it, I'd love to be, for the broadcast, I'd love to see, when all 20 cars are pitting, 20 pit crews,
Yeah, even if they couldn't do that, if just one car came down, why not have it to where, that could work? I can kind of understand for the taxing load on the computer if all 20 guys are down there, but if just one's down there, that'd be kind of neat to see.
Yeah, I mean, I know my computer could handle it, so I'd love an option, if people don't want every pit crew on pit road to show, then you have that option to turn them off. But for broadcasters and such that, have computers that can handle it, it would make it. I mean, we can see the car go up on the jack and when they're changing tires, but it would be just that much more realistic if we could see the actual pit crew taking off the tires, fueling the car, all that.
Yeah, like with the Coca-Cola series, or when they're doing like the Cup guys, they're doing one of their pro invitational races and stuff, that they could be doing it in those too, but they don't do it in those either.
Yeah, it's not
available.
Yeah, it's just not available in iRacing, unfortunately. Kieran Church, we just mentioned him. He's now half a second back from Joshua Sexton. So, man, he's got top 5 speed, maybe top 3, maybe even winning speed. But right now we won't be able to see that unless another caution comes out, just because he is 8.5 seconds back from our leader.
Yeah, I think Kieran Church is working on trying to get up to Sexton. He's about a half a second behind Sexton now.
And we're already to 40 laps to go, and this is what happens at these short tracks. You get a long green flag run, laps tick by very quickly. They're running 17.5 second laps right now. The better drivers are running 17.3, so we're seeing fast lap times, fast laps, and I mean, we were just at what was it? Lap 50 or lap 40 or 50, and now we're already at lap 85. So this race, a really nice job of these drivers right now on how well they're doing this green flag run now.
Yeah, I think once the setup kicked in, I mean, this is a great track. Like I said, it's very similar to the one that is in Stockton, California here. And they get long green flag runs there at times when they have the big late model guys come out. So I kind of thought that might be the case as long as they could get going, but cautions do breed cautions a lot of times.
Man, I gotta say, I'm looking at the timing screen right now. We're up to 9th a lap down. Harold Rothery there's already a lap down, so that would not be another spot. Josh Oswald in 8th would be the next. You see him up there in that red and white and black 17 machine. I'm looking at the timing screen, and there's at least up to the top 5 or so that could potentially, maybe not, just because, I mean, that's about 8 seconds he'd have to make up on Kiernan Church in 5th. But you got Josh Oswald in 8th. He's about a second ahead of our leaders. Stephen Burnett in 7th, about 4 seconds. And with about 36, 37 laps to go, they could be lapping up to 8th, 7th, 6th place.
Yeah, it looked like Martinson had a hard time getting by Rothery there, because it looks like Donald Clark has closed up a little bit. He's only 1.3 seconds behind now.
Yeah, the race is, even when you have these longer green flag runs, the race is never over, no matter how far ahead you are of second place. Just because of lap traffic, you get behind one long line of cars that are battling each other, and that can slow you down a lot.
Your Locke Jr. just bumped the wall. He's kind of flashing a little bit too.
And look here, Kiernan Church making a pass here on Joshua Sexton for the 4th position. So I think Kiernan is definitely a driver that is like, hey, give me a caution. Let me start right behind these guys that are about 9 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, because when you get slowed down with all the other cars and everything, and they don't have anybody in front of them, you can start losing time really, really quick. And then if everybody's just moving out of the leader's way, you're still trying to fight to get up there in the first place. So it gets even harder and harder to ever make up that time without a caution.
Definitely looks like that 222, and that's why I think he wants a caution now. It looks like it's better on the long run, and so if we have a caution now, then it'd be about 25 or so to go back racing, and that might be a long enough run that his car would maybe be better than some of these drivers up front. But even if he doesn't finish top 3 or win the race or whatever, I mean, to start 19th and finish 4th would be an accomplishment of its own.
Donald Clark has closed it up under a second now.
Yeah,
back over a second.
Donald Clark, you know he's not going to quit. He wants that win number 7 going into the last race of the season. But, I mean, I just talked about how finishing 4th wouldn't be horrible for Kiernan. Finishing 2nd, although you know he wants to win, because you want to win every race naturally as a driver, but you just know it's not possible. But Donald Clark, if he finishes 2nd, he'll pretty much, I mean, he already does basically, but he'll just furthermore lock up that championship heading into next week. And that's really important, because we talked about how tight that track is at South Boston, how tough it is, and anything can happen. But if you have, say a 30, 40 point lead over 2nd going into that race, then you'll be just fine.
Garrett Kinder's out there saying these cars are flying, looking good.
Oh, man. He commented that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett. Yeah, they're flying around this track, and they're looking fast for sure.
Looks like he can type better than he can talk.
Oh, man. What do you got to say to him, Garrett? Come on. You can't just let him talk to you that way. Oh, man. We are down to 26 laps to go here at Five Flag Speedway. Kyle Martinson still working his way through traffic. And I'm pretty sure that 07 machine would much rather keep having to go around lap traffic than a caution come out and have to actually race around his peers that are still in the lead lap.
It's too bad Garrett's not in this race. I bet he'd be up there towards the front too. He's a good racer.
Yeah, if you're having trouble speaking during interviews, I wouldn't say you would want to go to the Kinder's Vocabulary School, but that's just personal preference. As Kyle Martinson working his way around the 90 of Kevin Dowd there.
Yeah, it's always interesting when he's feeling chatty. Boy, we're already closing down. 20 laps to go. 21.
Yeah, this is looking to break the season record, I guess you could say, for the fastest race. I believe we've only had, what, 2 or 3 cautions this race so far?
Yeah, we had a couple early on, and then that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, and this would be the track to do it, right? The Snowball Derby runs here, and it's always a great showing, or not runs here, but that's what it's called, the race, and they always put on a great showing. So, I mean, it's just a great track for these drivers to put on a fun show.
Yeah, it's pretty wide, so I mean, even if somebody gets a little loose, as long as you've given them a little room, you tend to be okay. It's when everybody's like really pinching that there's a problem, but there's no need to do that on this track. You actually can get a better run if you're up a little off the person.
Joshua Sexton in 5th right now. He's not giving up on that 4th position. Kieran Church took it, and I thought he'd run away, but it's only about a half a second gap right now. So if Joshua Sexton stays consistent and maybe a little bit of a slip up from Kieran, he's right back there battling for 4th. So a nice, I guess, bounce back, you could say, for Sexton after he lost that 4th position.
Well, Kiernan's come in from a long way out. Maybe he's used some of his stuff up, and Sexton's got some more car left over.
We'll go through your top 10 one last time here tonight. Kyle Martinson sitting in 1st. Donald Clark still in 2nd. Jason Warren in 3rd. And driver we were just talking about, Kieran Church, in 4th. Also the other driver, Joshua Sexton, that we were talking about, sitting in 5th right now. Behind him, Tyler Johnson in the 20 machine sitting 6th. Stephen Burnett in the 46. Started this race 7th, and he's currently sitting 7th. So a nice consistent run by him. Josh Oswald in the 8th position. He started this race in 21st, so a great run by him as well. Casey Kuntz in the 31 machine started this race outside of the top 10 in 12th, currently sitting inside the top 10 in 9th right now. And then finally, Rusty Modesty still sitting in that 10th position, just like he was when we went through the top 10 a little while. It was a little while ago, but it was a lot of laps ago.
Yeah, he's held his own in that spot. Kieran Church is definitely the biggest mover now. Josh Oswald would be the 2nd biggest mover, I would say.
Yeah, he's up 13 spots. Down to 11 laps to go here at Five Flags Speedway. I can't remember the exact lap that we went back under green, but it wasn't halfway, I don't believe, or it was just at halfway when we went back green. I'm gonna actually find out here real quick.
Yeah, I think that it was quite a bit longer than just halfway.
Yeah, I do believe.
There's probably around lap 30 or so, maybe even.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm getting closer, hopefully. Yeah, I was way off. So we went back to racing on lap 36. And we have been green ever since.
They are flying.
Great showing from these drivers here tonight. And probably, I'd say, and you know, my memory's not the best, but I'd say this has probably been the best race all season.
Yeah, it's been really smooth. A couple of issues up front at the beginning, which, you know, that happens quite a bit, but then it just sort of tamed up, and everybody's been real clean. I think we've seen a few people bump the wall, get a little loose, but they always seem to be able to hold it. They're all doing a great job.
Well, we've been green for almost 90 laps. It would be around 90 actually when we end this race, and the caution is out.
Oh my, there we were talking about it.
I was literally just about to mention that with me here, we were probably going to get a green-white checkered, and oh, it's Jason Warren. I think it was. Yeah, Jason Warren was around.
Yeah, he's falling down a little bit.
Oh man.
If he can get it all fired back up and not go down a lap, the worst he's going to be is 6th.
Yeah, he's ahead of the pace car. Let's see if it was a self-spin, and it was. Wow, you just don't see that too often.
Now the question is, do you come in and pit?
Yeah,
I
that's a
think if
really good
I'm
question.
Warren and Johnson, I would say even Sexton and maybe even Church, come in and get some new tires.
Yeah, he just clipped the apron on the exit of 4. And we're going to see actually everybody on the lead lap come down pit road, and I think it's a great call.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was saying. There's so few people on the lead lap.
Yeah, if you stay out, even if only one person pit from 6th, I still feel like that'd be bad, to stay out as the leader, just because, like you said, only 6 are going to be on the lead lap. Maybe 7 because of the free pass. Actually, sorry.
Free pass would probably put 8.
Free pass and the wave around. We're going to have some drivers take the wave around, I believe.
Oh yeah, there could actually be quite a few, but they're all going to start behind the leader.
Yeah, they'll have to start at the tail end of the field, behind the lap cars as well. And oh yeah,
Kyle Martinson did not keep the lead after that. Donald Clark is in the lead. Burnett second.
Yeah, he's sitting 4th right now behind Jason Warren.
Well, my timer is stuck him down in 6th.
Yeah,
but I am seeing 4th as well.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna go back and check out what happened here. Maybe just overshot.
I wonder if he had his fuel turned on.
Oh, we're gonna find out here. Yeah, I think he just had his fuel turned on, maybe, and that's because I mean, if we go on board here, it just looks like a regular old pit stop.
I've done that in the modifieds, and that's killer for your race in the modifieds when you forget the fuel.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he stops at, but these are small pit boxes, and so they're servicing the car.
Did some of them get 2, I wonder?
Donald Clark did take 2, I believe. Yep, Donald Clark took 2.
Yeah.
You see Donald Clark go up on the right sides and doesn't take anymore. I want to make sure we get back. I wanted to make sure that we weren't looking at that and they were going green. So Donald Clark did take 2 tires in the lead right now, but still, Kyle Martinson, he should have only lost 1 position to that.
I bet.
So.
Yeah, I bet Sexton and Warren did as well.
This is going to be, if they did, this is going to be a great showing here. We're going to see if they're able to hold on as that pace car is going to pull off here in turn 4. Green and white checkered here at 5 Flag Speedway. The green flag is out. Checkup behind them. 3 wide on the front stretch. Jason Warren, actually, that was Kieran Church who backed out of it. Here comes Kyle Martinson in 3rd on those 4 fresh tires, sitting in 3rd right now, and you know he's going to be heartbroken if he doesn't win this race because he had a really nice lead before that caution came out.
I just don't think there's enough time for him to do anything.
Yeah, I don't either. The white flag is out. Donald Clark, your points leader going into the last week next week. He's going to go into South Boston with 7 wins on the season. Donald Clark's going to win at 5 Flag Speedway with Joshua Sexton 2nd and Kyle Martinson 3rd.
Oh, what a heartbreaker for Martinson. I bet he didn't even think about 2 tires.
Great call from Donald Clark and Joshua Sexton. Guys like that took 2 tires and it worked out really well.
Yeah, that was quite the outcome there at the end. That was a good pit call on both Clark and Sexton, I'll tell you. And I think Jason Warren spun his tires on that restart or something because he was definitely not moving. What a race. Shocker at the end.
Yeah, I absolutely. Kyle Martinson basically had it locked up with 6 laps to go. We get a caution, everybody pits, but he takes 4 tires compared to the 2 tire takers, and it works out for the 2 tire guys as they finish 1-2, and I believe Jason Warren did fall back and finish 5th. So I mean that was an all-around heartbreak for Warren because the self spin in 3rd and then ultimately finishes 5th.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him on the restart there.
believe he restarted 5th, actually, so I could be wrong. I can't remember. But Donald Clark locks up his 7th win of the season here in the Thunderstruck Super Series late model series, as he is gonna be sitting comfortable into that last week at South Boston.
Yeah, I think that's going to pretty much lock up his championship there if it wasn't already.
Yeah, Josh Sexton, who's going to be in second in points, does finish second here tonight. So that'll help him maybe lock up that second spot in the points.
Yeah, there may be a mathematical chance.
So we're going to go ahead and pull Donald Clark here. He's in the Discord now. Hey, Donald, this is Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
I'm with you.
Hey, man. Well, I know it probably didn't look great there at the end. You were still sitting second, so it was a great run anyways. But congrats on the win. You took 2 tires. Was that the plan all along when you knew you were going down pit road?
No, that wasn't the plan. I actually unchecked my left sides as the right sides dropped. But obviously it was the move.
Yeah, great call, man.
Yeah, that was a monster call there with the 2 tires, man. That got you out front and kept you there. Did you think you had anything for Martinson if it was going to stay green?
No, man, I didn't win this race. Kyle won this race hands down. I hate it to win it on pit strategy like that. We all come down, but like I said, this was Kyle's race. I mean, I didn't win this race tonight.
Well, your car always looks great. I love the new paint job that you got on it. And do you have any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, all my 09 race shop, the whole team over there. My crew chief Daniel Pope, he puts together these cars for us every week, and we tweak on them from track to track. Just the whole team over there. We test hours and hours each week, and just a lot of effort putting these cars. I can't thank them enough for all that they do. My support group out there, my wife, my girls, I know they're watching. Grandma, I know you're out there watching. Thank you for your support, and just everybody that puts this deal on. Thunderstruck, super great league to run. Rebels Racing Network. I mean, y'all do a tremendous job broadcasting this deal. I mean, it's just fun all around.
Well, congratulations, definitely. 7th win. That's just impressive. Back to you, Zach.
All right, that was Donald Clark, your race winner. Now we'll move on to Joshua Sexton, who comes home in the second position. Hey, Josh, this is Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, buddy.
Hey, man. Well, we talked to Donald Clark about his pit strategy there, so we'll talk to you. You took 2 tires. Was that the call all along to try to get yourself up front or near the front?
Yeah, they're in that for that restart. There was no doubt with a couple laps ago that I was going to take 2 tires, mainly because it just takes too long to take 4 tires here. I know we weren't getting too much left side wear. I was just worried about getting those right sides off of it.
Yeah, that was a great run, Josh. Good job, man. Did you have anything for the top guys as the race was going on? It seemed like you just kind of settled in and were just kind of there towards the last end of it. Were you just stuck there with Church, or were you going to be able to get past him, you think?
I after about 15, 20 laps, the car got super tight. I was able to stick with those guys right from the start, so I was pretty excited about it. And really the car just went so tight I couldn't come off the corner. I was a little bit disappointing because I did a lot of testing and it was never that tight. So, but race conditions are a little bit different. We came in on that, when I came in on that last pit stop and took those 2 tires, I also made an adjustment to loosen it up, make sure that it was nice for that restart. And it was really, really good on the restart. Just, obviously not enough time. Those 09 guys definitely had the setup for tonight.
Well, again, congratulations. You have any shout outs tonight? I know you do.
Oh yeah, I got thank my Five Kings Motorsports teammates for helping out with the setup. Make sure you give us a like on Facebook, Five Kings Motorsports, and thank our sponsors, Butt Kicker, Maconi Setup Shop, and MF Racing Designs over on Facebook. Make sure to give them a like. MF Racing Designs gave us this paint job, and man, it looks really nice.
All right. Well, congrats on the second place finish tonight. I look forward to seeing you out there next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll move on to our third place finisher and probably heartbroken driver, Kyle Martinson.
Yeah, no doubt.
Great run, though. He had a really strong car. Kyle, Zach, and Jeff in the booth, you got a copy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, man, I know it's not where you'd like to finish, especially when you had that lead with 6 laps to go. But first of all, I know it didn't go the way you wanted to, but great car, great race. You were really strong out there. It just came down to that last pit strategy. Did you expect everybody behind you to take 2?
No, not at all. I totally thought everyone was gonna take 4, but ended up being that way. And Donald looked fast there on the get-go on that last restart there, and I got really oozed for some reason. So I guess that was the right call. I just didn't make it.
Yeah, I was kind of heartbroken for you, man. You'd done such a great job all race. I don't think anybody had anything for you. And I was still thinking with those 4 tires, you'd be able to get back up there, but it just didn't quite happen. Do you think you could have done anything different to be able to keep it up there?
I'm sure if we had a couple more laps, I definitely would have been able to. It was just tough with 2 to go and starting the outside there on the second row.
Yeah, I think it might have been a different story if you'd have come out third, maybe, and then you'd have been right behind Donald Clark on that restart. But great race, congratulations on the third place. I know that doesn't, fit where you really should be. I'm thinking, but congratulations. Any shout outs tonight?
Yep, just got a shout out to my whole team at 09, and congrats to Donald Clark on the win. Even though finished P3, I still like it when one of the teammates gets in victory lane, so it's all good. Still had a great time, and that's all I can ask for.
All right, well, congrats tonight on a great race, and we look forward to seeing that fast 07 car out there next week for the last race.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, Kyle Martinson, your third place finisher here tonight. And we will move on now to our post-race stuff. I'm going to bring up the results, and while I do, I'll let you take over. Last thoughts on tonight's race.
Well, that was quite the performance from all these guys. Some of them just weren't quite as fast with their setups, but they raced it clean for the most part. There really wasn't much caution-wise tonight. So we went through it flying really fast, looking good. And I think that next week it'll be maybe a little bit of a different story. I'm looking forward to that at South Boston. But as far as tonight, Donald Clark, congratulations, man. That was a heck of a run. Great pit call there. Same with you, Sexton. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah, by the way, before we wrap it up here, Kiernan put in the Facebook that he was horrible tonight. So a 4th place finish for him is horrible. You know what? I'm afraid to find out what his car when it's even good, not even perfect, just good.
Oh no, I'd like to be that bad on a given day.
But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure to tune in next week for the final race of the Super Late Model Series, along with next Wednesday for the last race for the Modifieds. If you usually tune in on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, we will not be having any races this weekend, just to let you guys know. So thank you for tuning in here tonight. It's been Zach and Jeff from the booth here in Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.